Cammy, another one of our PLC members came.
So I'm guessing a lot of you are happy that it's the weekend. Yes. I know most PLC members aren't happy that it's the weekend. I used to be just like most people, sitting in the classroom waiting for the big hand to move one tiny centimeter to be free for 2 days. Now that I'm at PLC, I find myself losing track of time because I'm lost in all the things that I'm passionate about. I grew up in a really small town and graduated my elementary school with 12 kids in our 6th grade class. My last 2 years of elementary school were filled with stomach pain and doctor's visits. I was diagnosed with functional abdominal pain. Despite all of my absences, I graduated and moved on to a different school with all of my friends from our really tiny town. In 7th and 8th grade, it was a little bit better for me. My stomach pain had subsided a little bit. I was involved with the Friends of Rachel Club. I played field hockey and I was in jazz band. Even with all of these reasons to go to school, I still found I had absences due to my lack of motivation or a cold. I was also one of the biggest procrastinators and would pretend to be sick just because I didn't do my homework the day before. And I still feel a little bit guilty about lying to my parents so much. But surprisingly, I passed both 7th and 8th grade. I have to admit, I enjoyed my first semester at high school, but after that, the stress set in. The stress from my peers, my parents, my teachers got to me in the worst ways. Not only did I make up some excuses to get out of going to school, I had developed an actual reason not to go. My stomach issues reoccurred because of all the stress. I would refuse to go into the building, screaming, crying, acting almost like a 5-year-old because of how much emotional and physical pain I was in. On the days when my parents gave me no choice but to go to school, I would avoid any social interaction with my peers or my teachers. I would eat lunch in the guidance office. When my mom mentioned leaving school to me, to my surprise, I started crying. What teenager wants to leave behind their only opportunity for a social life? After realizing she was, of course, right, like always, and that I should leave school, I enrolled in homebound instruction, which is school online at home. And my problems only got worse, but in different ways. I developed agoraphobia, and for those of you who don't know what that is, I was afraid to leave the house. Sitting at home all day, every day, triggered my depression, which I still find I have even to this day. I went on a long journey from psychiatrists and home therapists. They put me on medication that helped subside my depression and my anxiety. And it also surprisingly helped my functional abdominal pain not be as painful. My mom encouraged me to try high school again, but not to my surprise, it was exactly the same. I went back to homebound instruction after that thinking, oh, it'll be maybe a little bit better, I won't have as much anxiety. But no learning was getting done at all, not on my homebound instruction or outside of it. The idea of PLC wasn't explained to me very well. My parents had gone to an open house without me, and even after them explaining it after the fact, I still had no interest of going. But of course, they forced me to go. To my surprise, after spending the day there, I didn't want to leave. PLC was something that I never even knew was an option, a welcoming community of people who accept you because they know what you've been through. For the first few months I was at PLC, I sat around doing what everyone saw as nothing. What I was actually really doing was finding myself. Looking back on it, PLC really helped me get out of the house and go someplace that I enjoyed, someplace that I wasn't scared of. PLC was a safe place for me where I could do nothing without fighting my parents for my right to do nothing. Once my parents had stopped nagging me, I started to realize the freedom I had because of PLC. It took 2 months for me to realize this, but when I did, I started to explore. That summer, I enrolled in classes at Mercer County Community College, and I applied for a job, and found my stomach pain to be completely gone. When returning to PLC in September, I remember the look on Joel's face when I told him I had a job and started classes at Mercer. It was the "it works" face. The reassurance needed that PLC was working. When I first started PLC, it was about their second year, and there was still some skepticism in the staff and the members. So when you saw the "it worked" face, you knew what it was. It brings joy to say that I see this expression on each one of the staff members' face at least once a day, saying, "We're doing it and it's working." Something that I really value at PLC are all of the people there. No matter how I'm feeling, someone always makes me crack up, usually about something really weird. And the variety of people that we have at PLC is so diverse yet similar. We all have the same respect for PLC and the same compassion for each other. Whether it be a staff member, a parent, a volunteer, or a member, there's always someone there to lift you up and say, "Don't worry, you have all of the time in the world, you're still young." I remember the one time me and Joel used up our whole hour meeting. It was because I was bawling my eyes out, rambling on about the meaning of life and the horrible people in the world. That day he told me about what he was like before PLC, and it made me realize people change and grow into who they are and who they're going to be, who's usually better than what they used to be. Here at PLC, I've had the joy of watching everyone find who they are and grow in every aspect. And I know everyone has seen my growth since those 2 months of doing nothing. At PLC, I've taken psychology, philosophy, writing for life, cooking, current events, do something, statistics, etc. I've made many friends because of PLC, but if someone asked me what PLC has done for me the most, I would say it helps put the passion back in doing what I love. PLC helps put the passion back in learning. The growth that I've seen in myself and my peers at PLC in both social skills and education is nothing that I could have imagined in high school. We all have created an accepting learning environment for teenagers. I also couldn't have imagined the career path that I'm considering if I was in high school, which is helping create another center like PLC that will be just as helpful. This place has not only changed me, but my family too, and PLC was a lifesaver and is and will be forever.